This is Dr. Felix Griswold again. Earlier today, I posted a video about the physician shortage, and I guess I spent most of the time ranking, so to speak, on the physician recruiters. And it is in part their fault because they have to do more. They have to become physician agents rather than agents of the hospital systems. They have to, when a doctor contacts them, regardless of the doctor's past, they shouldn't ghost doctors. They need to work with that doctor because it is their duty not just to make a commission and work for the hospital system or the practice, whatever, but to fulfill the need of physicians. That's what recruiters should do. But I was wrong. I do know of a reason. Uh, this is probably a major reason the more I think about it. Uh, Back in the 1980s and early 1990s, hospitals were run by physicians, nurses, and clergy. And the goal back then, besides surviving, making a profit, but they prioritized the needs of the community. Those of you who are around my age remember those days. With the introduction of managed care, medicine became a business, okay? And uh, they actually purposely got rid of all the nurses and doctors and clergy, and they hired these administrators. These administrators were, most of the ones that I know, aren't really educated that well to handle a healthcare system. It's more of this who you know, what you know, nepotism, things like that. But it all became profit. Back in 2000 to 2002, I was chairman of neurology at Connemog Medical Center. And I worked with the administrators, okay? And I remember meetings where the focus was on profit, 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 profit. I remember one time they brought in this, I guess, consultant from Texas, and they asked him, hey, can we do all these things with less doctors? And I'm thinking, hello, I'm right here. Hello, I'm right here. Uh, there's a practice in Indiana who's been looking for a neurologist for 15 years. So, in essence, they're looking for the doctor, the neurologist, who lays the golden eggs. So we know that doesn't exist. So in reality, hospitals are more focused on profit, and it is clear that they're really not that concerned about the needs of the community. So they're being very critical of the kind of doctors they hire. They're looking for perfection, okay? But let's talk about this. There's a massive physician shortage. Massive. I know people dying because they can't see physicians. After I had to stop practicing, 61 patients committed suicide of mine, and most of the others have died because they can't get help, okay? Uh, there's a massive physician shortage. So you as the public can pressure hospitals. Uh, you approach a hospital administrator, you know what they're going to say? Oh, no, it's just that these doctors out there's no good ones, they're all bad doctors, and yada. You know that's a bunch of bullshit, okay? Uh, you have to, you don't have to, I wouldn't approach politicians because they're useless, okay? Even local and state politicians, they're a complete waste of human existence, okay? They don't give a shit, they just care about their positions of power. But those of you who can't find doctors, who need gynecologists, who need neurologists, rheumatologists, endocrinologists. Those of you with diabetes weren't well controlled. Those of you who, and I don't mean to sound offensive, I actually trust mid-levels like nurse practitioners and PAs more than most of the other doctors, but they don't really have the education to handle more complex problems, okay? But you have to really pressure the hospitals as a group and say, I'm not getting help. Where's your doctors, okay? And again, they're going to hit you with a bunch of excuses, but, the more I think about it, that is a major part of the problem because I lived it. Again, this was in 2002, before any of this, and they didn't want to hire doctors because they wanted to make money and keep money for themselves, okay? When I was in Connemog in Johnstown, some of you may know this area, okay? You look at the hospital, it looks like the Taj Mahal, it's beautiful. You look at the surrounding, look at surrounding Johnstown. It looks like a war zone. That pretty much tells the story. Back in when I was there was a representative by the name of John Murtha, who was a very powerful representative, and he used to get all this money for the hospital. We called it pork. The hospital would spend the money not on the community, but on adding to the hospital and hiring more and more administrators. But they'd hire physicians and fire them, hire them and fire them, and hire them and fire them. Why? Because when they saw a drop in the profits, they'd get rid of the doctors. So pressure your local hospitals. Have a good night.